Into the Heart of Advent, Chapter 16, Children and Babies. Our Bible reading is from Luke's Gospel, the first chapter, verses 38 to 44, and I'm reading from the Good News translation. "I am the Lord's servant," said Mary. "May it happen to me as you have said." And the angel left her. Soon after, Mary got ready and hurried off to a town in the hill country of Judea. She went into Zechariah's house and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, her baby moved within her. Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit and said in a loud voice, "You are the most blessed of all women, and blessed is the child you will bear. Why should this great thing happen to me, that my Lord's mother comes to visit me? For as soon as I heard your greeting, the baby within me jumped with gladness." Jesus is sitting on the floor in my room peeling a large orange. There's this sense of Christmassy contentment as the beautiful fragrance of it fills the air. I love oranges. I love Christmas. He and I have been wrapping presents, choosing which paper for which person. Then he's been writing the labels, and I stuck them on. If you get a Christmas present from me this year, Jesus wrote your name on the label. It's evening now, and I've drawn the curtain against the blackness of the night. Soon time to light the fire. But during the afternoon, when we were out walking, I asked him about that place in Mark's Gospel where people brought children to Jesus, wanting him to touch them and bless them, just when he was in the middle of some very interesting teaching about divorce. The disciples tried to intervene and make them wait until the important discussions had finished, but he would have none of it and actually got really cross with his friends. "Hey, let the children come to me," he said. "Don't try to stop them. They're your actual citizens of heaven's kingdom." Or something like that. But Jesus has been to our church and seen the children and heard them. He's been in a position to observe a small boy wailing loudly in the middle of the service because he's given his face carpet burns flopping up and down like a fish. He's seen them all wriggling along under the chairs in a line, giggling wildly when the readings were boring. He was there when the oldest child, who should have known better, gave the whole tribe of them the idea of undoing the merely decorative gifts under the tree on the second week of Advent during the first hymn. He saw the fight that broke out over who got to play with Moses's fibre optic burning bush. People stopping children doing anything is the least of the problems in our church. When you let the children come to Jesus and don't try to stop them, you do have to live with the consequences, is what I wanted to say to him. But Jesus says that wasn't really what he meant. "Go on then," I say. "Explain." "It's all come a long way from the hills of Galilee," he says. "What's under discussion now is reverent conduct in church. It's worth talking about that, but it's not the same thing. Someone coming close to me and touching me can happen in a church service, undeniably, but it might not. And it can equally happen anywhere else. If you're looking for me, sooner or later you'll find me, because I'll be looking for you too. We'll find each other wherever you happen to be. And the important thing with the children is to respect their agency. In general, they take seriously and believe what their parents take seriously and believe. Children know when they encounter something real. They feel the moving of the Holy Spirit. Even a child not yet born knows the presence of God. Children don't respond very well to going through the motions, and most of them don't enjoy being paraded as the young people made to stand there and sing away in a manger because it's the children's song. Some of them like to join in, to have a go, and some like to watch from the safe place of their mother's side. They don't respond well to rules like don't touch, don't move, don't speak, sit and listen, sit there and be good. And if in the end all it amounts to is sitting at a table at the back doing colouring, occupying themselves while an adult drones on in the distance, all they've been given is something to leave behind. They are a litmus paper for the presence of God, an indicator for how authentic and vital is the encounter. Children have a hunger for what is real. I see the sense of this. Of course, lots of churches don't have any children in them, I remark, and not everyone has children who comes to church. Every church has children, Jesus says. Everyone has at least one child. To understand how this works, you have to go within. Somewhere inside, you yourself are still a child. What does that child say? What does that child need? Is she allowed to speak, to express agency? What makes her flourish and relax? Do you remember that time Zacchaeus climbed a tree to catch a glimpse of me? When I invited myself to his place for tea? The man who came scrambling down, full of eager joy, excited at being offered something real, was the child who'd been hiding inside him, who wanted a chance to join in and had been waiting forever for his turn to come. I try to feel my way to what this might mean in practice. So the whole thing needs to be more simple and more childlike, less segregated, more for everyone. It mainly needs to be honest, Jesus says.